Welcome everybody to today's stream. We have the Rockies franchise season 2 full off season. Really excited about it to make this team better, and I have some ideas for what we have to do. I think I have a good feel for where the team is at, and I am ready to make some changes because it was kind of a frustrating season with the offense not doing what I expected, and they were really unproductive. The home run here or there, of course, but absolutely no stability. I mean, our high average hitters hit like 250. So we have a lot of work to do, and that's what we're doing today. If you want to check out the timestamps down below, you can go wherever you want in the episode. I will label those once I am done. How is the audio now? I know it's working, but is it at a good spot? Yes, I did see that, Zach. So for Madden 22 scouting update, you know, I had a feeling this was going to happen with how buggy the game shipped and how much they had to fix, but Madden 22 scouting update is now coming in October, not September. So it's been delayed, but they've also given us some information on it. I'll cover that on the channel. And some of it looks pretty cool. So I am looking forward to that. New mic sounds good. That's what I like to hear. I have an audio setup that I really should have had years ago, but always had an excuse. Didn't want to spend the money. Didn't have the room on my desk for an XLR or for an interface of any kind, and new setup, gotta get it all where it needs to be. Oh yeah, I watched Thursday Night Football. I don't miss too many primetime games. It takes a lot to drag me away from a primetime football game. It was a really entertaining game. I'm sure Giants fans feel absolutely sick, and I would too. That felt like a very Vikings kind of loss that you had there. No, I didn't get the expansion yet for the PS5. That just came out of beta yesterday, I'm pretty sure. I have a friend who just did his expansion. I'll definitely want to get an expansion. How much is like the 2 terabyte SSD expansion for PS5? Because you get to keep your like 875 gig or whatever ships with it, but I think I want another 2 gigs to make it worth my time. I don't think an extra gig would do enough with the way games are going these days. I need at least 2 gigs. I'm gonna have to try college football revamped. I wanted to try it before I did anything with Road to Glory this year and like Perry Cummings at Air Force, but haven't gotten around to that. I do have a PS2 emulator working perfectly. So yeah, I have a lot of plans with this team here. I don't look at a lot of our players and say, okay, this guy isn't good enough or that guy isn't good enough. But what I look at this team, we don't have stars. I think that, you know, Javi Baez was supposed to come in and transform the offense, but maybe that was asking a bit too much because he has not been a high average hitter for a couple of years. I mean, if Javi was this Javi, that's perfect. But the Javi we have here is hitting for much lower average and much lower on base. And I don't think that he's really a hitter we can build the team around long term. I just think he's going to crush some home runs and be solid. So, you know, we need our Trevor Story back. We need something like that. Probably somebody a bit younger, though, if we're going to throw a large contract at them, because it still might take a little while. But we need some more cornerstone players. And in Season 2, we failed to see the emergence of Brendan Rodgers and Garrett Hampson. And those are like the best 2 big league players we have as far as that high A potential ceiling goes. and neither was stellar this season. I mean, we're not building around a guy who hits single-digit home runs. We don't even know who Rogers really is yet. It's only been a little over a season's worth of games. But Hampson so far, with the low power count, I just think he's going to be complimentary until further notice. Ryan McMahon, I mean, when you're hitting 200, that's not really helping the team a whole lot. So I want to add some offense this year, for sure. And I'm even open. Not saying that it's going to happen or is even likely to happen, but I'm open to trading Javi Baez if I think somebody else is a better fit. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I think individually, these players are fine, but as a collective, this team isn't good enough, and I will upgrade over anybody for the right price with the right skill set is basically where I'm at. Infield, outfield, no one's job is safe right now. Oh, yeah. Camera is going to block something no matter where I'm at here on this HUD, unfortunately. Thank you for the super chats. Heath, hey Kane, hope you and the move are doing well. Fans since age 12. No, I'm 22. Thanks for the memories. Appreciate it, Heath. That's a long time. And Kawhi, glad to see you here. Thank you for the super chats, you too. Did Charlie Blackmon retire? I don't think so. I think it's too early for that to happen. He's like a 73-ish overall. 71 now. So there's some serious regression going on. And yeah, Charlie bounced back for us and was really solid. But, I mean, we can't fully count on him. And for some reason, the game has him at AAA now, which is not something I chose to do there. Gio says trade Rogers. I think that him and Hampson carry some value because of their development. I might give it another year on Rogers because there's a little more unknown with him. He's younger than Hampson. What's his at-bat per home run in 2021? I know my camera's blocking it here probably, but it's 28.1. I think his ceiling's a bit higher. I think his power upside is a bit higher. So I don't think I want to trade Rogers this year. But we do need some contact hitting. We need some on base. We got to get better. Let's get this underway. Advance to the offseason. You said no one's job is safe. Does that include the coaches? I'll take a look at their ratings and see what I think there. We do have our hitting coach retiring. Good talent on the team, just bad roster composition. I'm right there with you, Matthew. I agree. Like, the players themselves aren't bad, but, like, very few of them are great. And we have a lot of complementary players, but very little, I think, foundation, proven solid foundation. I mean, this is a franchise that just had, Nolan Arenado, Trevor Story, a younger Charlie Blackmon. A couple years ago, Carlos Gonzalez. Like, this team had some real talent, and we don't have anybody on those levels. Maybe Javi is like cargo, but we don't have anyone that's going to be the next Arenado or Story yet. Or even the next Charlie. I think the user is the problem with the team. Oh, I don't think so, Kawhi. Maybe a little bit. I appreciate that, Global. Glad you've stuck around for so long. Tapia and Geronimo will be the two outfielders. Who will be the third? To be determined. Sheriff Waffle, thank you for becoming a member once again. I see that 1-year badge and that number that's next to me here on screen. That is just how many members are currently on the channel, if it's working. I don't know if it's updating properly, but this is a good test. You know what? That was a rejoin, so it should still be the same number. Perfect. Yeah, they had Tulo for a while as well. They had a fun little team. What do I think about closing pitcher prospects to replace Givens? I'm not too worried about closers in particular. We had Winton Bernard and Joe Smith retire, by the way. I'll put anybody in that closing role that I think fits. And it could be Sir Anthony Dominguez this year. We'll just have to see. I'm not too worried about it specifically. Schaffer will have more value than Arenado ever had. Possibly, but we're not going to rush him to the big leagues. Oh, look, Robinson Cano made it to the Hall of Fame. You know, all those home runs he hit off of me in Double-A late in the season must have solidified his Hall of Fame status. That was so annoying having to pitch to him. Even though he had regressed, he was still so good. All right, so free agency's coming up. We have to take care of our free agent situations. And here are the coaches, by the way. So Louis Leonard, speed, reaction, clutch. I'm not sure that's the best ratings to have there, honestly. But maybe I can find a good hitting coach to take a boost to that contact and power. Sorvala might be a good option for us. Kimura as well. Like, whoever I get needs to have good contact. So let's go back to the top then. Sorvala. The clutch kind of doesn't matter a ton with our main coach having it positive. So then we have exclusive free agents. And I don't think we're in a hurry to bring back Adam Duvall after last season. Elias Diaz. This is an interesting situation here because obviously at catcher, this is where the organization is suddenly getting stronger. Oh, never mind. I saw Elias Diaz. I thought it was Elijah Diori, same initials. I thought his potential got bumped up to C. Hasn't happened. But we have Dom, who is a lefty. We could bring up Diori as the big league catcher this season. He's a switch hitter. It's that or bring back Diaz, who's older. One sec. Oh, what's going on, Mike? Robert, new member on the channel. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. Glad to have you back. 2-year badge. Kane finally ditched the Blue Yeti. Can't believe it. It's still within reach, but yeah, it was time to move on. Would I rather my best reliever be my closer or setup? It really depends. It depends on the depth of our bullpen and if he's more of a one-inning guy or if you can squeeze a little bit extra. I don't really care about the closing role too much. I do want a guy that can get strikeouts in that role, but that's not always your best guy. Yep, I'll still be continuing the Marlins series. Yes, I'm not done with that quite yet. But what we have to figure out here is, do we give a 1-year deal to Elias Diaz, who has been a solid contact catcher, or do we just give Diori the chance to go up to the bigs? Diaz, we could always sign him and send him down if he doesn't win that battle. What would it cost here? He's a 32-year-old backup catcher. I can't imagine this is too much money. But yeah, like every little bit counts. Do we want to give him $5 million when I could maybe use that money in free agency elsewhere? Probably not. What about Schaefer? I haven't decided yet on the pronunciation, Schaffer or Schaefer. But I'm not rushing him up to the bigs. I want him developing, getting those ratings right. I do think that has a little bit of an effect with the morale if he's from Venezuela, and so is Marquez. But I think $5 mil for a backup catcher is just too much. Yeah, they don't really show morale much in this game. I don't know if they're phasing out their morale system, but it's like hard to even find. Where is morale in this game? Jalen, I appreciate the super chat. What am I going to do with the first pick this year? Is he going to go to AAA or double? Probably start at double, hopefully dominate, go to triple. Kind of the route we had with Geronimo this year. The idea there is that if he can dominate at AA, his ratings will go up faster, and it's better for him to dominate at AA than not dominate at AAA, basically. And you'll see the ratings go up a lot faster, I believe, that way. So I did pretty good, I think, with Geronimo last year, mixing him between AAA and AA. BPA approach at all positions? Kind of, yeah. Like, if I think somebody can be a difference maker and they're like 26 or younger, then they're basically a target. Outfield, infield. I'm just not looking for a catcher at this point. Pyro Cookies, thank you for becoming a new member on the channel. Appreciate that. The big perk of being a channel member is that I do a channel member live stream every month. It's usually at the end of the month for about an hour and a half or so. Give you kind of a behind the scenes look at different ideas I'm toying around with and get some feedback there on brand new ideas I haven't talked about yet on the channel. And we usually, lately, have been playing some Rockies games in there too, getting extra gameplay. Move to roster and move to right for morale. There it is. Yeah, yeah. But they certainly, I don't know if they're doing as much with morale now. Like, it's here. It's visible. But the other games had, like, more menus for it and everything. Oh, I'm definitely looking to buy in free agency because I don't think we can fill all these needs or find the right player just on the team. I appreciate that, Pyro. Thank you. Yep, the replay will be available afterwards. Yes. And there shouldn't really be any delay there either. Kane, you're the GOAT. More minor leagues next year, please. Keneal. We'll definitely have some minor league action. I think it's going to be... the more I have my draft picks down there, the more interesting it's going to be. So, yeah. We're going to spend some time there for sure. Scott Oberg, reliever. See, I'm just not going to rush back to sign a lot of these veterans for even $3-4 million because I want to see what else is going to be possible in free agency. So I don't know that anybody here is actually getting signed. Darren O'Day regressed a ton. We can come back to these guys. I have interest in Oberg, but I'm just going to make the offer kind of low. Probably won't work. Let me make sure that I had, I always forget about these options down here too. Like if I name him the closer, that changes. See, depth, not as good. Bullpen, because it's kind of projecting him as a AAA player right now. But no, I'd want him in the bullpen. 3.4 million, barely green. Is this Mike Zimmer's last chance? Kind of feels like it. But I don't know. I love Mike Zimmer, but There's a lot of work to do to get this team on the right track. They looked terrible in preseason. They looked undisciplined in week 1. They were almost able to take it. And yeah, you know, that was a bad call. Dalvin was down in the overtime, but they put themselves in that situation. They shouldn't have lost to that Bengals team. I thought they were going to beat the Bengals by 10, 17 points. But, I mean, they had 4 false starts on the opening drive, and they kept going backwards. Couldn't get yards on first down. So, you know, Bengals capitalized on that. And Cincinnati tried to give it back in the second half. The Bengals played terrible in the second half. But, you know, a very similar game, honestly, to last night's. Both teams kind of had their faults and kind of traded the chance to win back and forth a little bit. Robert, I appreciate the super chat. Almost 3-year member. We need a new badge level emoji for 3-year mark. The member streams are chill and a blast. Robert's words, not mine. They're fun for sure. I was checking today. There isn't a spot yet for the 3-year. They should be adding that because that'll be coming up this winter. But it's not available yet. Could be worse. Could be a Bears fan. Oh, Justin Fields is going to start soon. That's like the thing you have to look forward to. The more you lose, the closer you get to Justin Fields, I feel. Or you win with Andy Dalton. So I know now I don't want to simulate too far because I don't want to miss anybody in free agency that I would have some interest in. Boom, hitting coach accepted. So the staff is done. We just added Donnie Sorvala, +3 contact, +2 power, +2 plate discipline. Cool, staff done. Michael Givens has exercised his option and will be making $5 million this year. I forgot I gave him a 2-year deal with that option. So Givens is interesting because last year his ERA, you'll notice here on the far left, 5.14. Not great. But if you look at his FIP, I think I'm covering that up. 1 second. 4.14. It wasn't as bad as his ERA would indicate. There was like a bad start or a situation earlier in the year where I kept him in too long. And I mean, 1 or 2 bad innings when you have 42 on the season is going to blow up those numbers big time. I'm not sure if that member counter is working properly. It was my first time trying to actually use it, so I'm kind of demoing it here today. No, it's still saying 146 on my end. All right. Big problem is how they blame Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk deserves a slice of the blame, but he was not the problem, the bulk of the problem on Sunday. He was very good in the second half, and outside of a couple plays where he maybe held the ball a bit too long, I thought Kirk played a pretty good game. What did you think about Steelers upsetting the Bills? So I have been down on the Steelers this year overall, but I've never thought of them as like a 6-win team or anything like that. And I think I still firmly believe they could be like a 9-8 team. I don't think they're as good as Baltimore. I don't think they're as good as Cleveland, but I do think that their defense is legit. And if they can figure this out with Harris and the O-line, I think they get more of like a 12-win ceiling. I still think the passing game is going to be bad. Very bad, even though they have good receivers. I haven't watched the game. NFL Game Pass sucks right now. I'm not sure you heard about that. So I haven't watched back anything from the weekend because Game Pass, I don't know, they messed with it. No coaches film right now. Took away my player search feature. I used to type in a player's name and look at all his targets in like the last handful of games. Took that away. Annoying. I have $85 million available budget. Cool. And Sam, I appreciate you becoming a new member on the channel. Brand new member. Thank you very much. Cardinals might be better too. They look good from what I saw in week 1, and they got Minnesota this week. Man, I am not happy about that. All right, free agency is here. Here are the top available players: Aaron Judge, Aaron Nola, Jose Ramirez. Now, I'm trying to find some position players that are younger than 30, so I'm not considering them yet, and they're huge deals. If I wanted to do those, I would have signed Trevor Story. Got into your videos around the Chargers franchise, Barry and Seki. Watch content on both channels since. Got me through some tough times for sure. Much thanks and love to you. Keep it up, Kane. Skol. Appreciate it, James. Glad to help you out. Thank you for the super chat. I didn't see a lot of Darnold, honestly. I didn't catch a lot of that. They didn't show the Panthers much on Red Zone. Wilson Contreras. Again, catcher is not something we're looking at. Joey Gallo here, 29 years old. Sure, he'd be fun in Coors, but for 6 years, I'm not beating that deal. Trey Turner, 29. Byron Buxton's 29. So I'm just not going to get like a 26-year-old option, perhaps. Man, Buxton would be great. Another franchise building around him. Can you imagine? Jose Barrios, if we want to add another pitcher, which shouldn't be ignored. Whit Merrifield. He would fill that DJ LeMahieu role perfectly, but it would only be for a short while. Ketel Marte, make a rival worse. Marte would not be bad. Yeah, I did see that on the scouting update, and honestly, I kind of expected that to happen with how buggy the game was when they shipped it. So, it doesn't really surprise me. Tim Anderson. Dansby Swanson. Michael Brantley, he would certainly raise our on-base percentage. Andrew McCutcheon's going to be older. Minnesota also made the qualifying offer to Buxton. I don't really want to give up that pick. Is it a first or a second? Kyle, another new member today. Looks like month number 2. Thank you. I wish that this did a better job of letting me know how long everybody's been a member. Oh, on another screen it does. So I know Kyle's been a member now for 4 months. What about Josh Bell? I imagine he would be older too. Yeah, 30. It's just kind of the way MLB free agency is. Because you need 6 years of service and it takes so long to get to the bigs to begin with. How long before Mond plays? I don't think Kellen Mond, outside of maybe a random package like you're seeing teams do more often, plays at all this year. I don't think Kirk plays himself to the bench. I don't think that the Vikings end up 2-8 and wanting to see what Mond does either. I just don't think that he plays at all this year other than packaged stuff. Thoughts on Smith's extension? So, one second. I'm really hoping Harrison Smith can get to the Hall of Fame. And I'm really hoping Harrison Smith can play out this extension. A little gift I got this week. This is pretty sweet. I love this matte black helmet. Very nice addition to the setup here. So I love Harrison Smith, obviously. I thought it was a larger extension than I expected it to be, but I do think that his skill set and role in the defense will age gracefully. He's not going to be the guy you want, you know, manned up on a tight end, covering deep halves and doing a lot of that stuff. Like, your athleticism's not going to be the same when you're in your early 30s. I think he's like 32 now, but he plays so much in the box. And his role to me is so much mental over physical, and being able to, you know, decipher plays before they're happening, and just playing with intelligence, I think, is his strength. And that should age well as he sticks around the box. And I'm just hoping they did a good enough job adding deep coverage safeties this year. They didn't invest a lot into it. They did bring in Xavier Woods, and they're trying, you know, Cameron Bynum as a convert from corner. They're going to have to make sure that deep cover role is taken care of, because I don't think Harry's going to do a lot of that anymore. He will age like a Malcolm Jenkins. Yeah, I could see something like that. Because his role isn't so dedicated to, like, being an athlete, I think that will work out. It's still a lot of money, though. But I think that if it doesn't work out, they got 2 years or whatever to get out of it if they want. Back to my question. Qualifying offer, which pick would I be giving up? Because Marte, I think, is one of the more intriguing players to look at signing. Also, Byron Buxton currently has no offers from Minnesota even. Granted, now, this is the Byron Buxton you'd be getting. So, real life Buxton right now, fully healthy. I mean, he's like a step under MVP consideration with how well he's played the last calendar year. 250, 24 homers, not a high average guy. Yep, second. Okay. So I'd rather not give up picks as we continue to build this team. So right now, I'm not interested in players who the qualifying offer has been made to. Barrios would be really, really good. Luis Severino is only 28. Sonny Gray. I don't think you have a ton of starting pitcher options for us that are great fits. Anybody showing interest here in Oberg? He might have signed and they just didn't give me the notification too. I don't think we're signing Alex Colome. Yep, he signed. So Oberg's back. It only cost us a few. I wish I could sort by some stats here, like players who had the highest average last season. Jose Abreu, 36 years old. Man, bring CJ Cron back. How'd he do away from us? Better. Played half the games, hit 16 homers, 273. Literally 1.6 WAR leaving us. Hey, Kane, do you think Justin Fields starts week 3? Oh, man. I don't think... If they weren't willing to play him week 1, I don't think they play him at 0-2 if that's where they end up this week. So I'm going to say no, but I think that they would probably ramp up his role and more so have like how well he does in that role kind of help determine when he eventually starts full time. And it's interesting too. Remember my last like seasons I was doing in Kalispell where it was like, hey, we're playing with Luke Irvin, and guess what? Now it's Matt Reddick. That's like the NFL now. The NFL is doing that 2 quarterback stuff that I thought was like, oh, this is very video gamey, but I'm going to do it anyway. Brandon Nimmo. At least against righties, he would be an option. Yeah, higher average. I'm not against Nimmo. I'd like Brantley more. Week 4 against Detroit is my guess. When's the Bears bye week? Last year, the Dolphins, they benched Fitz at the bye week to transition to Tua. I could see the Bears doing something similar. Bring Nimmo back to the Mountain West? Where'd he go to college? I don't think some third base competition would be bad. I don't think Josh Fuentes should be guaranteed a starting spot this year. Bye week isn't until 10. Yeah, no qualifying offer on Turner, and that is not a huge offer at all from Washington if we want to top that. Oh, born and raised in Wyoming. Gotcha. Gotcha. That would be the closest team, I think. Appreciate that, Peyton. Bears bye is week 10, then face the Ravens in Chicago. I'll tell you one thing. You do not let Justin Fields' first start be against the Ravens. Nope. Absolutely not. Hey, Kane, sort by average, then find players who have no years left. Rob, how do I do that? Sort by average. Do they have stuff like that anywhere? Or you're talking about the player finder? So I don't know if I know how to do this well enough. Joey, new member on the channel. Thank you very much. Glad to have you here. Yeah, on my end too, I'm seeing new members join, but the total member count isn't updating. So it's not that the number on screen is wrong. On YouTube's end, it's not updating anything. So I'm not sure if it's always behind. I never usually check during stream. Talking about in stats. Yeah, I don't know where to go. What's going on, Rashad? Glad to see you here. DJ South is here as well. All right, so the first thing I think we can do is give an offer then to Trey Turner. This is not going to be a huge break the bank deal, and I think he'd be a great all-around player, brings speed, defense, good contact, really what this team needs. So that's where we started here. His only offer, 5 years, $63 million. And yeah, he'd be a star on our team. I'd give him a player option in like that 5th year, and I'd make this just like $70 million. And I could front load it probably. Imagine Judge and Coors. Yeah. But he's going to get a huge deal somewhere. I have to imagine. So there is that offer for Trey Turner. And then Nimmo, I think, would be a solid option here. Especially against righties, not so much against lefties. But we want to bring in high contact guys. Vision's at 59, would like it to be a little bit higher, but he's simmed really well here in the series, obviously. He was a 5 WAR player a year ago. What made his WAR that high? On base, 405. That's a pretty high WAR. I'm thinking 1 year. And I would think of him as kind of an everyday player. 1 year, 10 million. That's where we'll put it for now. We still have Javi, yes, for at least a year, maybe 2. So that would definitely boost our ability to get some base runners on this team. Why not Buxton? I don't want to give up my pick, the 2nd round pick, which would be a high 2nd round pick. I'm not negotiating with anybody that has a qualifying offer made. Otherwise, I probably would have offered to Ketel Marte, who would compare a lot to Trey Turner. Probably more position versatile, though. I'm just not willing to give up the pick right now. Not until we're a little bit better. And this version of Buxton, too, that's been pointed out, like, his overall rating is largely based on the fact that he's 97 speed and elite in the field. Like, he's not a 91 overall hitter. There are the ratings. He's like an 80 overall hitter, which is fine, but you're going to have to make, if you want Buxton, you're talking $25 million a year as a floor. As much as I love Buxton, he's my favorite player in the league, but it just doesn't make sense for us. And yeah, I think Severino can make some sense as well. He's pitched 2 good years in this series that have been really similar in almost every category. And I'm expecting our rotation to potentially regress a little bit there. So I think Severino would give us a really good boost. Check out what it would cost to trade for Tyler O'Neill. I wouldn't mind trading for someone like him. He would be like Duvall, but hopefully better. So what does the Yankees offer amount to per year? You have 96 over 5. Okay. So we know we got to beat like 21 million. He wants to be the ace. I think he'd have a chance to be the ace. Again, throw in that player option. That would get us over New York. Just cutting a little bit of that money off there. Yeah, what was the home run per 9? I missed that. 1.25, 1.4 is a little high, and his FIP is higher than his ERA has been. So there could be some regression. There would be some risk here. I don't know if you can see the home run per 9 with me in the way here. That's the concerning part, is just the home runs and the FIP. Could regression be on the way? One thing too I figured out today, I have my recording set up now so that when I'm getting games played here on stream, I can keep the game audio, but not have like my audio. So a lot of times when I'm doing episodes of streams, I like put music over it because I need something there. I cut off the stream audio because it's my commentary and the gameplay, but I figured out how to get that set up. So should have a better experience for that. If not Severino for that money, if we think it's a little too risky, Zach Eflin would be an option, but his numbers are worse. I think it's kind of Severino or bust, honestly. And it's not that we had a bad rotation last year. It's just trying to be ready for the future, because this is what we have. Chirinos. I don't have a Go XLR. No, I have a Wave XLR from Elgato. It's a lot more basic. I thought about the Go, but it's a lot more money and has a lot more features that I didn't really need. But we had Chirinos, Marquez, Heaney for 2 more years. I don't know about Gomber being a starter for us. John Gray. Derek Rodriguez also started last year and was solid. How solid was he? No strikeouts, really. Higher FIP. Yeah, we should be, like, not counting on Derek Rodriguez as a 5th starter. If he's a bullpen guy, that's just fine. Maybe for now, I'll just throw my cam in the other corner. But no matter what, I'm blocking something. Unfortunately. I guess I'll just block certain stats. All we've done so far is make a few offers, and I'm not totally sold yet on this deal for Severino, but we'll see. High plate discipline on a few new players is key. Is that important for simulating? It's not a rating I typically look at too much. 58 for Turner. Nimmo, 98. Wow. No interest in Tyler Duffy? He's been elite for a few years. Let me go bottom right here, maybe make it a little bit smaller. These numbers are elite, and we need a couple new relievers this year. Ooh, you're going to pay for him. Like $13 million. Might work. Taylor Rogers has been pretty good too. So take your pick of which Twins reliever you'd want to add here. They're both going to be premium. Rogers would be really solid. I'd also be open to like a flyer on a veteran here, like an Evan Longoria, looking at third base and being like, okay, Josh Fuentes, you weren't great this year. So if we bring in a guy like super cheap just to like compete for that spot, I'm not against that. Last year, Fuentes average dipped to 232. OPS down a good bit, slugging down, ISO a little bit down, not terrible. And he's 30 years old too. Like, I don't think we should have him just have the third base job uncontested again. Big stat for simming, 80 plus equals at least 340 on base percentage. Okay. I've never really paid attention to discipline, honestly. So that could be something to pay attention to. Let me sort what we have on this team. Oh, it's not good. Wow. Turner could make some sense with his bat. Just the fielding is low for him. And if they're not good enough, obviously, I'd like to send them down to AAA, and if they have options available, that would be cool. What would Justin Turner be? Just a few milli? Schaefer is second in the organization in discipline. I didn't even see that. Yeah, it's not a strength of us at all. What about Turner and Tim Anderson? The White Sox haven't given him like the most incredible deal. Wouldn't help our discipline though, 38. But he would get on base and he could play third if we wanted him to. Just an option. Miguel Rojas. Certainly not going to hit for power. Averages have been pretty good for him. I feel like Rojas would be where we, like, he's performing like we want Hampson to eventually perform. Yeah, that's right. We have Javi right now at short. If we get Trey Turner, someone has to go to third or in the outfield, and Turner can do that. Does Baez have that flexibility? Yeah. A whole lot of stuff we could do there. So Anderson is an option. I also like Miguel Rojas. He would only be like a one-year solution for us, though. Any third baseman worth trading for? That's something I haven't thought about enough, is potential trade options. What, only 3 players in the entire league are on the block? Let's do the trade finder. How do you do it? Will we see a possible trade for maybe a good contact hitter who's young, a trade with a good team who doesn't need him? If we can't sign that player, then definitely Jalen, and I think that's kind of what we're going to experiment with now. Oh yeah, okay. This is the trade suggester. That's right. That's where they hide it in here. So, I mean, there's a lot of positions we could look at for this. We'll just look at third for now. Probably not going to get Torkelson. Shirton Apostle. All these ratings going up based on what he did against me in those couple of series he played against the Rockies. Well, Hayes has developed nicely in this series. Very cool. Pirates need something to go their way. So we went through all the third basemen there. Just looking at potential players that we could add. Like, the best spot for my camera changes all the time depending on where I'm at in the mode. DJ LeMahieu. See, here's what he was doing in Colorado. Batting title this year in 2016, I'm pretty sure. 348, 301, 310. We miss that on this team. This team is loaded in the infield. It's unbelievable. Brandon Lau, Jazz Chisholm, a potential Xavier Edwards, Joey Wendell, Mike Brasso, Willie Adames, Wander Franco, and Bobby Witt Jr. There are too many infielders on this team. What about Dansby? I thought in his age tier there were just better options than Dansby Swanson is all. I did consider him. Like, there are literally way too many infielders on the Rays. They have Mancini playing first now. Sorry, O's fans. Two years of control on Adames. Like, who are they starting? Like, it probably makes the most sense to play Lau, and then you need to play Franco and probably eventually Witt. But what do you do with Adames and Chisholm then? Jazz is hitting 240-ish for them. Still has some developing to do, obviously. Not all the way there yet. So, I don't know if I'll make a trade with them right now, but that's just a team to keep in mind. How about Austin Martin? Twins got him in the Barrios deal. So here's what we have right now. If we can bring in Trey Turner, and that's where our strongest offer is, I think you play Trey at short because Javi's a little more unpredictable there. Someone moves to third. In the outfield this year, you could be looking at Tapia, Hampson, maybe Geronimo. He's going to get a chance at spring. All right, a lot of you saying Ty France. I saw Ty France. I know of Ty France. Is France a good fit? I don't think he'd be super difficult to get. But Ty France plays first, second, third. So this would be kind of like a Fuentes upgrade. 99 batting clutch, too, for what it's worth. Yeah, I can see it. Kind of an upgrade, I would think. Oh, definitely an upgrade over Fuentes. Is there a way to compare the two in the maybe in this menu? If I just I feel like this would be a very inexpensive opportunity too. Where are the M's? I wish it was just alphabetical to make my life easier. Oh, is he a free agent? They need to take care of his arbitration status. Is that the issue here? They need to give him an offer? Tie America better? Okay, so I guess I couldn't do it yet if I wanted to, but I definitely see him being a better fit. So 79 contact here for Fuentes, 46 plate vision, 65 vision for France, 3 better contact righties, more power versus lefties. Yeah, I think I want Ty France. We'll have to see what that would take. So let's keep him in mind. And then the other player that's been talked about a lot is Tyler O'Neill for the Cardinals, unless he was traded or something. He's got A potential, though, and he's an 88. So the price is a lot higher. And I don't think that I want to make that kind of a move yet. If he were lower rated, lower potential, then I think you maybe consider it. Because right now, when you look at our outfield, if we get Turner, then like Javi goes out there. And I think Tapia starts in one of the spots. And then you want Geronimo to eventually start too. The other thing is that Trey Turner is like really fast. And he might be a little more valuable in the outfield than short, even if he's a better shortstop than Baez. So if we do get Trey, you might see him play center instead. And yeah, Nimmo, I think, would be a little bit more reasonable than trading for Tyler O'Neill. Here are the offers we've made. Trey Turner, Severino, Nimmo. The other part is I don't want to sign too many players and then not have a lot of space for other guys who need time to keep developing, like Hampson and Rogers. And who knows about potential deals we may have to make after this. Like, I think you can make 2 offers here if you're us. Is it Turner and Severino or Turner and Anderson, basically? And I think I'd rather give the offer to Severino because of the upside there, bringing in a starting pitcher, and hoping the home runs don't get out of control, which is possible. Yeah, the bullpen could use some help too. I'm probably going to wait a day or 2 on offers there. Say I lose for some reason on Turner and Severino. Then I all of a sudden have a bunch of money to throw at Tyler Duffy and Taylor Rogers and other guys. I'm kind of okay simming a day or 2 with just 3 offers. Rojas could even play third base, but I think I would definitely like Ty France there as a fit. And France is a lot younger. And he still has 3 years until free agency. Okay. Let's sim a day. Well, let's also take care of our arbitration and everything. Give me one moment. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I'll leave y'all with the chair. And I'll be back in a sec. What's going on, everybody? Did you guys have a good time with the chair? Let's take care of my my tenders. That sounds pretty good for dinner, but right now we have to worry about these tender offers. Always a good day when there is a Kane off season. And you know what, Andrew? It's been too long, honestly. Oh, what'd the chair say? We have to get rid of the chair now? Ty France, my favorite player from the Mariners. Play Kyle Lewis, too. France hit 318. 99 clutch would be perfect on this team. Around 2 million arbitration. Look at Alec Boehm, too. I think Boehm has higher potential. France is right in that sweet spot of like good enough to make a difference, but not so good that he would cost a lot in a trade. So France is like perfect. I want to take care of these deals here because it'll give us a better idea of how much money we actually have to offer to like free agents. And we'll see, you know, if Geronimo at spring training this year can make enough of an impact to make the big league roster. He certainly has a chance. All right, I'm going back to the other side. We'll go in the corner for now. I used to not know much about doing these MLB off seasons, but I've done so many now in like that Rule 5 rebuild that I have plenty of reps and I have a better feel for getting through things fast without missing things. Although in that series, I'm not doing the draft or the or free agency, but okay, we'll go Castellani at AAA this year. Ryan Valade. Is he on the 40? Because yeah, he is. Okay. I kind of like to see him at spring training too. I'll take a look at Boehm's ratings, but I just don't think that, I think he'd be more difficult to acquire is all. So we'll get all these taken care of. I think Diori's getting put on the 40-man too. Michael Toglia. So I wasn't sure. Is it Michael Toglia? Is it Michael Toglia? It's neither. It's Michael Toglia. Silent G. Didn't know that. Zach Borenstein, still looking for 70 when he was at the big league level for half the season. Y'all got any fun plans for the weekend? Anybody hitting up a football game or two? Saturday, Sunday, doubleheader situation? Kane, I'm telling you to go look at Abraham Toro for the Astros. They don't need him, and the dude rakes. We will take a look at Toro. I'm vaguely familiar. I know they traded him in real life this year, right? Who did they get in that deal? Who did they trade for? Was that the Ken Giles trade? What stance does Borenstein use? Give me one moment. Graveman, that's right. Graveman. Not Ken Giles. I think I saw Giles on here recently, and that made me think of him. COD beta this weekend. I'm sure I'll check some of that out, although I don't think I'm getting COD this year because I don't know. There's too many World War II and World War I games in the last 5 years. Heavy fatigue. It's like 15 years ago all over again to me. I'm all about Battlefield this year. Can't wait. But now I have to wait even longer because it got delayed. Like the Madden scouting update. I've been so out of baseball mode though for the last month with the move and the Twins being terrible. Like, just kind of put that on the back burner. Focus more on NFL preseason. Haven't really watched a lot of baseball in the last month, but I'm excited for the playoffs to come back around again. So we'll get these done. Mets Phillies tonight. Your Mets need some dubs, that's for sure. I still know that. It's become the Braves division. As odd as that is after the injury to Acuna and to all the pitchers too. Going to a high A game tomorrow. That should be fun. Like 6 years from now, one of those guys is going to play for the Mets and you'll remember watching him. All right, somebody wanted the batting stance for Borenstein. So he has Salvador Perez, but left-handed. I had no idea. Been trying to score some cheap Cowboys Chargers tickets, but being in LA, they only go so low, that's for sure. You can do so much with the batting stance creator, by the way. I had no idea. You know, you can change the way the hand rotates. You can take an existing stance and just completely ruin it. Where do you want the elbow? You can do whatever you want here. I wish that I could see it like in action though. You can change like the hand offset and everything. Bring it in real close. There's some limitations there, but that's pretty cool. Please do not save that. And I want to make sure that it's where it should be, because I don't want that swing. Good. All right, before we go to the arbitrations, let's go to the fills quick. Okay, Boehm's only B potential. I thought he was A. He's younger, a little bit better than Ty France. His potential dropped. I'm pretty sure he was A potential. Yeah, they're both really good options with, you know, Boehm has 2 years service. France has 3. Boehm is probably still more expensive, but it shouldn't be a huge gap. And then Abraham Toro was another player I was told to look at for third base options. Toro does have the A potential. More power than contact. At least for ratings. Very little MLB experience. Let me go to arbitration quick. Only 7 players here. And I pretty much want most of them back. Why is Coleman already at arbitration? When's he ever been at the bigs? All right, Chichi Gonzalez. 1 year, long relief guy. I'll give you 3. An arbitration offer like 2.5. Derek Rodriguez, I'm expecting some sort of regression, but I still like him. And we'll offer arbitration around $1 million. Raimel Tapia, of course. $3.6 million. Sounds good to me. And you would be an everyday player. Most likely. Peraza, I think I let go. Well, unless the offer is super low. Yeah. I should probably keep him for this. I can always send him down. But you're definitely not playing every day. I'm not going to lie about that. Like your depth. I'm not offering him arbitration, though. Gomber. Yes. I'm not sure we're going to need Peraza and that utility ability, because Hampson and Rogers already cover so many bases there. And then if we have another shortstop like Trey Turner, we don't even need a utility guy. I think Peraza is better than most utility guys I'd find, though, in free agency is the only thing. And he's only like 1.9 milli. We got him in the Rule 5 draft last year, too. Wasn't that tough to get him. And then Robert Stevenson. This should be a pretty penny. 3.5. It's not actually that interested in the 3. We're going to go to 4. And definitely arbitration on him. 3.2. Geronimo swing is horrid. Jalen, it is a little bit tough to get used to. I don't really like it, but I don't change players' stances. It's just who they are. And I've actually hit with him pretty well, I think. So I've gotten used to it, but it's veteran stance 191 if you want his stance. The other weird part of it is that he's 5'7", so his strike zone is so small. But certainly, it doesn't look like much of a stance, but I mean, hitting with him, it does look like you're hitting with somebody 50 years ago. And yeah, so we can do some customization if we get around to it today. The other part that I think would be fun is, you know, there's been some feedback to add a 4th pitch for certain guys. And I think that makes some sense, and it would be a good addition to the offseason for guys like Mickey Littlefield. That'd be like in spring training at the very end, you know. Give him a 4th pitch that's maybe on par with his worst pitch that he can work on developing. I don't know how pitch ratings change over time, but, I mean, they're there. I recommend, too, when you're playing franchise, you know, you can add a pitch, but you can also go into the pitching attributes, and they have attributes for every pitch. And these can change, but it doesn't tell you a lot. It's all here in the back end. Not this weekend, but I got tickets to the 6th row of the Vikings-Bears prime time game later this year. As a Bears fan, hopefully Fields is starting. I would imagine by then it's probably Justin Fields. That should be fun, Greg. All right, so I got the arbitration offers done, tender contracts done, initial free agent offers done. We're simming a day. And we're going to see if anything changes here with our offers. Still the best for Trey, still the best for Severino, and the only one for Brandon Nimmo. So if we were to get Trey and Nimmo, Geronimo needs to beat out Nimmo or Tapia to start. And there's the beginning. There's the first big signing of the day. Luis Severino from the Yankees. I know DJ South might not approve of this being a Mets fan, but Luis Severino, I think, gives us a lot higher ceiling for the future of the rotation. That was good last year, but we can't bank on it being the same way. Derek Rodriguez numbers show that regression could be coming. Heaney's getting older. His ratings are going down a little bit. John Gray is in his 30s. So I think this is us staying ahead of the curve. It's aggressive, but I like the move. There's enough meat on the bone, I think, when you look at it's $20 million a year, not 30. He's 28, not 30. There you go. You're right. I'm not okay with it. The Rays can't light him up anymore. Nope, just the Dodgers and the Padres and the Giants. So we're still waiting on Trey's decision then. Nothing's changed. Man, I really wanted Tyler Duffy. There's no way you're getting me to pay $13 million a year for a reliever right now. There's just no way. Oh, man. Is Colomé going to be the fit here, Mike? Oh, man. How much do I have to... like, real life bias does seep into franchise all the time. And it would be very difficult for me to sign Alexander Colomé. But I think that the price could be right. Are we doing this? mean, 4.8. Numbers haven't been terrible. Home runs were down this last season. FIPs are a little high last 2 years. Wait, so MLB The Show kind of simmed him a down year after the 2020 White Sox season. A little bit of a down year, only 15 innings. Oh, man. Well, we've offered to Alex Colomé. He wants to be on a contender. That's right. It's part of the... It's part of that, that concoction there, that algorithm. He does want a winner, so we'll let him turn us down. Taylor Rogers doesn't have an offer yet. He would be amazing. It wouldn't be $13 million. If I promised him the closer role, it would help. $9 million for Taylor Rogers? I'll throw that offer out there. Oh, where did that say players I could lose to the Rule 5? Ooh. No one's taking Amador, I don't think. That would be really mean if they did that. A 64 overall. Just take him away from us. Really good international free agent signing, 20 years old. So much potential. But I think it would take like my Rule 5 rebuild for him to be gone. My 40 man has 36 players, by the way, and there's a couple players I wanted to add to it. Giles to the Twins. Tyler Duffy to the Mets. Okay, DJ South, what do you think about this massive move here? 3 years, $34 million. Pretty good numbers, though. Mets always got to have their good pitching. Pitcher for first pick this year? I don't think you force it. You know, BPA in our situation. But I think, like, we're hoping that there is a pitcher in that spot, Jalen. We've added a big-time outfielder now and a catcher in the draft with our first-round picks. So I'd like for it to be a pitcher. So we talked about Bohm and France in that third base spot. I suppose we should wait on the Trey Turner situation still. Let me make sure my 40 man is set up well. What is PS eligible? Practice squad eligible? Probably not. Or is that Rule 5 eligible? Well, these guys are at the bigs. But it says here the best players I could lose are players I'm not really worried about losing. Postseason eligible. Oh, that's right. If you get added too late, I think in September, you're not postseason eligible, which is kind of a weird concept, but that's kind of the way baseball works, honestly. Yeah, Mike, if you're playing that beta, though, let me know, and I might hop on there even. I can probably download it in like 6 seconds. I love having fiber. All right, simming. Wilson Contreras to New York. 9-year deal for a 30-year-old catcher? Nine years, 181 for Wilson Contreras. I like him. Do I want to commit the better part of a decade to him? Probably not. What's wrong with 4 or 5 years? No, we need a catcher for 9 years. We want the next Jorge Posada. What a Yankees deal there. And the Royals have signed Seth Lugo to a reasonable deal at 3 years, $26.4 million. That's pretty good. The Yankees have their catcher. It's Kyle Higashioka. They're fine. Gonna be like Robinson Cano in AA by the end of that deal. Maybe by the middle of the deal. Kirby Yates to the Angels. Another, big money relief deal. Trey Turner is still holding out for a better team getting into the battle here. And now you have Joey Gallo here. Ooh, does he take the Rangers? Stay put? Doesn't have to sell his house or go out to the Bay? Aaron Nola. Like, everybody's offering the same deal to him. But the Mets offering 6 years and the same amount is worth less. Check that out. The Mets would have to offer like an extra $20 million to be on the same playing field as the Braves offer. They're already over. Ed Judge might go to the Mets. You have the Mets and the Yankees both want Judge. That's hilarious. That is fantastic. Barrios is getting big boy money, $30 mil a year. Merrifield. Would also fit that like third base competing with Fuentes role just for a shorter time. Man, there's going to be so many cool potential events of this year. Will they let me do trade finder stuff now for these players? Depends if he signed his deal, I imagine. Not signed. Taking his time. Trey Turner to the Colorado Rockies. We did it. 5 years, 70. So, obviously, Story got really big money at 29 years old. We end up with a player who took about half of that salary. All right? We got Trey Turner. Story's obviously making a lot more for the Braves. 14 versus that. And obviously, it's a year later. We're in better position to be competitive right now than we were when we could have signed Story at the time. Still risky given our budget. And yes, that's the other part to look at here is we got Severino. We got Trey Turner. But we're already looking at $21 million left. Like, there ain't much left to do. But we can shed salary, perhaps, if we trade Charlie Blackmon and get out of this $18 million. Oh, by the way, he wasn't worth a notification, apparently. We got Brandon Nimmo for a year. I wanted to be more aggressive in this season because I feel like with how the pitching was last year, if we add the right hitting to it, we can be contenders, at least for a wild card. After year one, I knew there was so much work to do. There was no point in deals like we're making today. So the off season here, I think I've had a good plan for it. And it's pretty exciting right now. I like this. Turner, Severino, Nimmo, and we're not done. I want to know where these big deals end up now. Aaron, what? He's not going to either one. He's going to KC with Mahomes. They're going to buy the Royals together. Just them two. 50-50 share. $300 million. Okay. Out of nowhere. And that's a 10-year contract, by the way. The barbecue won him over. That's right. Is there good barbecue in New York City? And is it available for under a 2-hour line? 300 million is more than their payroll, I think. Nobody said it was a smart financial decision. Aaron Nola ends up going to the Astros. 9 years, 268. Are the Mets getting anybody? Like, the Mets have been giving out all these huge deals. They must have a lot of available money right now. They have DeGrom and Lindor and Smith. They're trying to add to this core. They got Duffy. But there's so many pending deals that they could have had. So now the Angels are in on Gallo. A bunch of teams now want Buxton and Barrios. This is fun to watch play out now that our part of it is like done. Yeah, we're losing that one. That is such big money for a closer. I think Chapman's coming off a worse season. That's why his demand is lower. He's also not their closer anymore. He's been like a setup guy. I think I'd rather Rogers and avoid the control issues of Chapman, but it would take a lot more. Well, maybe not too much more. It's going to be like double. Who am I kidding? But I would be willing to do that. Chapman's a better value, but that walk per 9 and control, and I don't pitch with the meter, obviously, so it's all ratings. Like, you would get the full Chapman experience. I just added, or at least I tried to add Colome. We got Alex Colome. So right now the big league bullpen's looking like probably Gonzalez here, Rodriguez, Stevenson, Dominguez, Colome, Ober, Givens, plus one more. You throw Taylor Rogers in there, I think it's pretty good. Sonny Gray to St. Louis. Edwin Diaz to the Giants. The Rockies can no longer afford the contract offered to Raimel Tapia. We got Taylor Rogers, but at what cost? We need to shed some salary immediately. Oh, man. I can't lose Tapia. Thank you for 8 years of content. Go UTSA. Thank you. Is it Greg or is it Grieg? I appreciate it. Thank you. Charlie, take a pay cut. Take a pay cut. $10 million. Plenty. So did Tapia become a free agent then? Because I'm not seeing him here. If I just lost him and he signed somewhere else all at once, I don't want to see Raimel Tapia anywhere on here. We got Taylor Rogers there. There's still the arbitration hearing. So if we look to trade Charlie Blackmon, might be able to get like a reliever or something and save some money. Like Taylor Clark. Yu Darvish. First of all, I'm not making a trade with the Padres, but that is ridiculous. The trade logic in here isn't great. I'm not trying to take advantage of it. Not the same Yu Darvish, though. Blackmon for France. Boom. Let's go, chat. Oh, I forgot about that. Now, the salary would allow us to make it work. But I don't know yet if he has signed. It might take a while. So we're probably going to be patient with this then. But is there anybody else that we couldn't afford? He's the last guy. Why didn't they have him sign first? Let's pull this $500,000 offer here for Flores. That saves us a little more money. We offered him 2.8 in arbitration. We have 2.6. Oh, man. When are the arbitration hearings? They're in December. James Paxton to Philly. Joey Gallo to the O's? Some of these deals are happening out of nowhere. Buxton to the Red Sox. Jose Barrios to Miami. $30 million a year. Whit Merrifield to the Diamondbacks. So he ends up going 3 years, $30 million. See, in Madden, you'd look at where he was, his age, and how long he was available and be like, yeah, like $4 million. Not going to work that way here. All right, we're close to the Rule 5 draft. I don't plan on doing anything. Still a lot of players available in free agency. Cronenworth is super cheap. Rojas has no interest. I still have a little bit of interest in Rojas, but I can't really do anything yet. And it looks like it's a situation where like France is just going to take it to arbitration, so we have to get there. What do you think, Mike? Pretty cool. Tim Anderson to the Detroit Tigers. That's awesome. Has Jose Ramirez not signed yet? I didn't see him in available free agents. Yeah, a lot just changed now. Rojas is the best suddenly. I didn't see where Jose Ramirez went. They didn't give us that information. Let me use the player finder. Stayed with Cleveland. 6-year deal. Massive money. $40 million in 2028. Is $800 million enough to buy the Royals between Judge and Mahomes contracts? I don't think so, but it would get you a very solid stake in the team, I think. It's the Rule 5 draft. 4 picks right away. I do enjoy the Rule 5 draft, but I don't think that there's anything I really need to do this year. I mean, if catcher weren't looking so good for us, this wouldn't be bad. But I don't see the need to complicate things. Andrew Velazquez would be a solid Rule 5 pickup for somebody too. I don't think that there's any need for us to make a Rule 5 pick. Because I think now the roster is getting complicated enough. Dom Thompson-Williams available? Yep. Didn't sim well enough for me. I'm skipping my selection this year. Noah Dale Amador. Noah Dale Amador. Oh, they took an AA. I'm like, oh, that better not be it. Nope. The Pirates are still going. They're doing my rebuild. Stop. Don't take them. Don't take a Dale Amador. Okay. The Pirates. You gotta love it. This is so, like, on brand, I feel, for how cheap they are. Literally 4 Rule 5 players in 1 year. That's hilarious. I don't think our organization lost anybody. Carl Kaufman was like the highest rated player. He didn't get selected. I thought for a moment this could be a Dale Amador. I know, I love the Rule 5 draft, but it's just not the right year for us. What a great draft for the Pirates. The Pirates going at a starting pitcher, JT Ginn, 73 overall. They're only going to pay him $60,000. Then they go and add Franklin Labor, right fielder, B potential 71. They're going to pay him a renewable salary of probably like $150,000. They go get Trace, I can't say his name, Tres Barrera? And they're going to pay him $650,000. And then, is that Colonel Perez? A renewable salary. So all in all, what is this? Maybe $1 to $1.5 million tops for 4 roster spots on a 26-man roster. This is classic cheap Pirates right here. CNL. Okay. Okay. But this is just classic Pittsburgh Pirates. Some of the cheapest roster management here I've ever seen. And you know what? The Pirates and their small payroll, I bet they aren't, you know, charging you less for that hot dog and a beer. They can't afford to make it cheaper because no one's coming to the stadium. They got to charge full price. I saw somebody posted like a shot of their stadium the other day, and it's just like empty, man. Empty. I'm pretty sure like you could probably live in the upper deck and nobody would even notice until like winter when it gets cold. But you could probably just live in the upper deck for free and nobody would know. You just have to buy 1 ticket to get in and then just never leave. What, is somebody gonna need this seat? What? I have the trading on. Luis Robert to the Yankees. That is sickening. Absolutely sickening. Luke Voigt and Davy Garcia. There was enough feedback saying to let some trades happen. I have the slider on low so they can happen occasionally. They'll probably never make sense, but now we're in the future, so just kind of let things happen without getting too far out of control, I guess. Tapia won his arbitration hearing for $3.3 million, but I can't afford it. I'm gonna have to. Oh, my budget is in the red. They did lose Judge, that is true. Yeah, my trading slider is there. And we've seen one the entire offseason. So, we talked about a few third basemen. Ty France. If we just suggest a trade, they would do it for Feliciano and Chichi Gonzalez. Obviously, I would like to give them Charlie at this point. It's the only way our roster is going to fit. I hate to send away Charlie like this, but it's an $18 million salary, man. Alec Bohm. See, they want Brendan Rodgers and John Gray. I like France for this. How much do they like Charlie, though? They have the budget, too. Shout out to the Mariners for not spending money. We think we should be getting more value. I think that would make sense, too. Like, give us the salary, we'll eat the money, but give us a prospect. I think that's pretty reasonable. What about like Jamison Hanna? He needs a lot of time. He's 25 and like everything needs work. They would do it for Hanna and Charlie. Pearson's younger. The other option would be somebody like Hilliard. I think giving them a prospect, though, would be pretty realistic. Although they probably would like to keep France, too. There's also that option for them. I might even throw in an extra player just to make it a little more reasonable for them. They're looking for starting pitcher, relief pitcher, catcher, first, second. That's just the start of listing every single position. Like, come on. Is it that bad? No, I need Diori right now. I like Diori. Because I think he's going to play at the big league level this year. We'll give him Brian Gonzalez. Or should I throw in Gold? What do you think? Brandon Gold. Just to make it a little more reasonable on their end. I think that'd be pretty fair. They eat the salary for us. They get a couple of prospects who don't have, like, no upside. It's a little more realistic. I like it. All right. So that is a lot of stuff that we did. We did a lot of stuff in this. Sorry, Charlie. Ty France comes to the team. And this was because, like, I just wasn't sold totally on Fuentes. That and Ty can also play first base. Like, there's a lot of options now. Like, we could see Fuentes tear up spring, start the year at third base, and then it's like all of a sudden Ty France versus Connor Joe. But then Joe has flexibility, so you can move him around. Like, there's so much position flexibility on this team. It's hard to say who's going to play where. But we will find the answers. And now I'm thinking that Turner does go to the outfield. More speed than Javi, and we need speed in this Coors outfield. Lower left, by the way, check that out. 11th overall, 1st in speed, 11th in contact, 14th in power, 7th in pitching, 10th in defense. That is a lot more money than we've usually spent. It's not even everything. Rojas is gone. Who did that? I was going to bring in Rojas as like a spring training competition. Oh, maybe I should save my game. Jeez, man. Where's the transaction log? Where do they hide that? Ben, new member on the channel. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Oh, Miguel Rojas has been scooped up by the Orioles. And the A's get Max Scherzer. Are there any other trades that I missed? Oh yeah, there was a weird trade here. Chris Taylor to the Orioles for a couple of prospects. Mike, we are just about at the end here. We're not totally done. There's still a couple things I want to do, but we're done with like the off-season like moves. So I knew I wanted to be more aggressive in this offseason, and we have brought in Trey Turner, paid him half of what we would have had to pay Trevor Story. And we front-loaded the deal, too, to make it easier on us in the future. We also brought in Luis Severino for about $20 million a season, which is, you know, $10 million less than more proven ace pitchers get. We brought in Taylor Rogers because we could always use a good bullpen option. That cost us $10 million. We also brought in... Where is he on here? Brandon Nimmo, who's going to play in the outfield, be another high-contact bat that we desperately need this year. And paid him $10 million. Then we also brought in another reliever. We brought in Alex Colomé. This is just a $4.8 million deal. There is some risk in this move, but we didn't pay a lot for it. And then we just made a trade here because we had to save some money. We lost Charlie Blackmon. We shed that salary finally, and we traded for Ty France with a couple of prospects. So we can maybe upgrade over Josh Fuentes, and he can also play first base. So a lot of additions. I am really, really happy about this so far. Luis Robert got traded to the Yankees. All right. I'm curious about one thing here. If I wanted to trade Javi Baez at some point, I'm just really curious of what teams would be willing to offer. Oh. 2 low 70s prospects. That one's better. Jeter Downs, Josh Taylor from the Red Sox. Come on, Rays. I know you can do better. I've seen your infield, and you are holding out. Unbelievable. That's an interesting deal from the Blue Jays. Tristan McKenzie. Tariq Skubal. Casey Mize. You can get some pretty good players. You're not going to get blown away in a deal, but you can get a couple solid players for sure. This would be more like at the trade deadline if we felt like there's a good chance that we're not good and we think that Javi would opt out because that last year's a player option and I'm kind of expecting him to decline it and try to get more. That's all. JP Crawford. Defense, vision, discipline, contact over power. So a bit more like Hampson. A lot of quirks though. 7 quirks. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you want that high discipline, and we certainly don't. That's an important rating I've come to learn today when it comes to simulating plate discipline. We added Brandon Nimmo for his plate discipline and on-base skills. But then Connor Joe, Johnny Schaefer, who's never played a professional game in his life, is 3rd on the team. Brian Mundell at 58 overall. That's our 4th best discipline player. So we're kind of set up to be pretty inconsistent there. But we added contact this year. We added everything with Trey Turner. And together, Turner and Baez are still, salary-wise, what is that? Like 2/3, 70% of what Story got from Atlanta? That's why we didn't make that deal. France and Crawford knew each other growing up. Really? Any more interesting players in free agency? We'll take a look. Probably a couple of guys if you want to add power, like Justin Upton, Andrew McCutchen. I think at this point, though, with McCutchen's fielding, he'd have to be a DH only. And we're in the National League. He can still hit, though. J-Up, kind of a similar situation. Better off DHing. Seager has a little bit more to give in the field. Wilson Ramos, if you need a catcher. We consider that if Diori didn't play well, by the way. I would roll out Ramos there with his 1 speed and figure it out. Carlos Santana if you want on base. What would it take to get Carlos Santana? In general, I don't really want Carlos Santana, but he can play first, catcher, third. He's an on-base guy who walks all the time. Yeah, I mean, I could afford it. I won't close the door completely on Carlos Santana. Robbie Grossman, if you want like a utility guy. I thought he could do more than the outfield. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. But he's also been more of an on-base guy. But the ratings there, outside of discipline, aren't too great. Man, what happened to Christian Javier on this roster? Javier is a beast. I like him. IRL. So I'm not sure we're making any more moves today, other than possibly Carlos Santana. Culberson would be more of a utility guy if you want that. Josh Harrison probably too. Kind of a Rule 5-esque pickup here if you want a Bubba Starling. Which, I might as well offer him a minor league contract. Why not? .99 arm. He must have done something. Love the crazy offseason so far, Kane. Have you considered moving Hilliard to first? Frees up room in the outfield with the addition of Nimmo. Possibly. I should even consider like trading a guy like him. Cool Bubba Starling story. Chose between Nebraska quarterback or a Royals first round pick. Explains the arm. Wow. Baseball over football. No Kyler Murray there. How much budget do I have? Might as well, you know, give Carlos Santana an offer. They're not going to give me anything else to do with that money. It either disappears or I spend it on players. So, I mean, I'm still going to say depth. And then I want to add a couple players to the 40-man here. I might even have to waive a couple players off the 40-man, honestly. I'll probably waive Connor Blair. I'll keep Zach Veen. I'm trying to plan out the outfield this year. Yeah, Hilliard, I'd have to change a position for him to play first base. We have Tapia, we have Nimmo, we have Daza, who can also be the on-base guy. So what's the outfield right now? Trey Turner, Brandon Nimmo, Raimel Tapia. Geronimo has to beat out probably Tapia or Nimmo to make the team this year. And then for outfield backups, you would have Hilliard, who hits the homers. You would have Daza, who just is an on-base guy. That seems like it's good where it is. But now I need at catcher. I want to give Diori a chance this year. So I have to put him on the 40-man to move him up to the majors. That only leaves 2 spots. Is there anybody else I wanted up here this year? Soon for Tolia. Soon. And obviously when I get these rosters, like the 40-man is set and it's a little bit messed up. So guys like Todd Sinigi are on the 40-man, and I don't necessarily want them there yet, but it's just kind of the way it is. The best scouting tip I can give you is to not go to like 100% scouting on a lot of players. I think it's better to get, you know, partial information on a lot of players than just like full information on a handful. You want to make sure that, you know, with all your picks or most of your picks, you're taking somebody you have some scouting information on, even if it's not complete. I think for the obvious, really good prospects, maybe you go full on them. Make sure your first round pick isn't a bust. But after that, maybe you stop once you're on halfway scouted and make sure you check every day on your scouting as you simulate through to make sure you're not missing chances to fill out your board better. Oh, that is the plan, by the way. Trey's playing center field. 100% the plan. I want his speed in center. I'll put Tapia in a corner, Nimmo in the other. But then Hampson has to play somewhere. This is the part I'm trying to figure out right now. So Turner's here. Hilliard's here. Or Tapia's here. And Nimmo is here. Or do I want Tapia in right because he's a lefty? I forget how that works. So confused right now. Should I put Tapia in the right field spot? And yeah, I'm cool with Trey playing center. I want his speed there anyway. Hampson at second, Rogers at AAA. Could be. You keep Javi at short. France and Fuentes battle it out here. You can play McMahon at first, and Hampson battles with Brendan Rodgers. There's so much competition now on this team. Arm strength goes into right field. Is there a difference between Tapia and Nimmo? Tapia's got a pretty good arm. It's not all that accurate, though. Nimmo does not have the arm, so I think Nimmo goes left field. Where does Geronimo fit? He has to just slug his way onto the roster. It's the only way. Probably starts the year at AAA. If anything, we're winning the AAA championship. That's right. We're leveling up from the AA title to the AAA this season. Yeah, let's build a lineup here. So we know we want Nimmo in right then, or Tapia. I'm confused now. Yeah, it was Tapia in right field. Nimmo in left field. This is third base. Let's just project Ty France there after a down year for Fuentes, and France has been pretty solid. And then at first base, probably McMahon right away. And at second, it's kind of Rogers versus Hampson there. Let's give an edge to Hampson. I'm not sure yet about spring training. We're definitely going to get some games in. I don't know. Football season always throws off my schedule a little bit. Why doesn't McMahon play third? Just because I have France over there. Although fielding and arm is pretty good for him. Yeah, maybe McMahon would be better at third. And France at first. So this is kind of a mock starting lineup then for us. That leaves us with a pretty good bench too, with Connor Joe, Hilliard, Diori, Daza, Rogers. So I think here at the top, you would have Turner and Tapia. 1-2. Potentially Nimmo. We'll see how it all works itself out. I think Baez stays at cleanup, McMahon at 5. Like Turner, Tapia, Nimmo. We go with our high on base. We get to our power. Then it's like Hampson, Nunez. I think that's what the lineup kind of looks like right now. Schaffer, I think, is... Maybe he's not at AAA yet. I'm starting him at AA regardless. Once he dominates, moves up to AAA then. So that's a pretty good lineup, I think. Potentially. Yeah, finally a good problem on this team. It's hard to find all the starters and to figure all this out, but Turner last year hit 266. Nimmo last year 293. France 266. Those all would have been pretty high on our team. Now, we added some power to go with the higher on base. Not elite power. I still think you're looking at Javi being the best home run hitter. And then the next guy I think that projects for a lot of home runs would be McMahon. And if he were to somehow find a way to start and play, like David Geronimo, I think has that kind of power too. At least Geronimo's discipline is decent too. Like, on offense, this guy is going to be so good eventually. You want to see Severino's pitches? Yeah, we haven't talked about the pitchers a lot today because the pitchers let us focus more on the offensive side. So if we go into his specific pitching attributes, fastball, 99 control, 91 velo. So it should go where I want it to go. The slider, you got mid-70s here across the board. You got a changeup at 86 that he doesn't control quite as well. And then he's got a two-seamer he doesn't control as well as his four-seam. So you're pitching him fastball slider predominantly. 99 control though on the four-seamer. Hampson 1, Turner 2 for the speed. It could end up there. I think we'll start out with it like this. The back-to-back speed would be pretty cool. But more so, I just think there's more upside with Tapia and Nimmo, so they get the bump here. Like, their ISO was a lot better than Hampson's a year ago, I'm pretty sure. Hampson's ISO 147. Tapia's was better than year one. It's actually a little bit lower, 138. It could change. But Tapia also hit for higher average. But it's really comparable, actually. That's kind of a hot hand approach. Yeah, we do have a lot of lefties now. We added Nimmo today, which just swings the balance towards the lefties over the righties. No switch hitting starters, though. I probably could have front-loaded Severino's deal. But at least I front-loaded Trey. So that'll give us eventual relief. Now, one thing I wanted to do here, a little customization. So, I know that you guys wanted to get some gear for David Geronimo, our #1 prospect, I'd have to say. What do you do for David Geronimo? We'll get to the bullpen. I'll do that now, actually, and then I'll see the feedback here. But bullpen-wise, I think you have a pretty solid long relief bullpen to start out here, as we will have likely Derek Rodriguez, Chichi Gonzalez. Where's he at? I don't know where Chichi Gonzalez went. But him, you have Sir Anthony Dominguez. We bring in Taylor Rogers and Alex Colomé. Michael Givens picked up his option, so he's there. Scott Oberg, Robert Stevenson. I think it's good. But where did Chichi Gonzalez go? He's a starting pitcher at AAA. Okay. Is he on the, he should be on the 40. I don't think I ever waived him. Yeah. Get him up at the bigs. All right, so what do we do for David Geronimo then? A glove? Yeah, the purple glove. I kind of like that neon pink glove. If we were the Seahawks, this would be great. Appreciate it, DJ Self. Have a good night and a great weekend. Hope the Mets can score a win for you. Start the weekend off right. How many wins do I think this team could win? The goal is going to be a lot more now. I think the goal has to be now, like, to chase a wild card spot and win like 85 to 88 games or something. We got to get up there. It's been really fun. Interesting bat tape there. What is that? Oh, I think, is that green for the yard goats? Eventually we can get that fixed. No gloves. Oh, is it a minor league helmet until he's at the big league level? They actually have branded elbow guards in here. Wow. I really don't know what to do for customization. This is not my strong suit. We can swap out the New Balances though. I kind of like those. Those ones look good purple too. I'm pretty sure. Ooh. The purple on black right there. Hardly noticeable, but I like it. Maybe change the laces to white on the glove. silver looks really nice there. Is that what they call white? I think I'll go with the silver. Go with the high socks look. I do like the high socks look, honestly. I've always been a fan of that for some reason. Where are the pants? Uniform? Pants style. I feel like if he's going to be 5'7" hitting home runs, he has to go with the high sock look here. Jersey sleeve length. I feel like it's not changing much. A little bit. I kind of like the lower length. Let's go to 20. Yeah, that does happen on his stance, that they clip like that. I think I'd be willing to edit the stance to take away that clipping. Like maybe there's something there you can just do with his hand position. Because you notice here, it clips into the back of his helmet. So if we just change the hand offset, bring it a little bit further behind his head. That's probably better. There's still a tiny bit of collision it's detecting. I wonder if it's... I think it's colliding now with his shoulder. This keeps pulling me back in one way, too. The shoulder, though, that collision wasn't really noticeable. It's just detecting it. That's better. I'm not going to change his stance. I'm just changing the hand positioning. Whatever a player's stance is what it'll stay. The other thing I wanted to do here is maybe add a fourth pitch for a few players where it makes sense. Like Mickey Littlefield. Would like to get him a fourth pitch. And... So Mickey throws a fastball, slider, changeup. What could we add? I mean, with how hard he throws and the break, I like curveball immediately comes to mind. Big sweeping curveball. The Vulcan change. Slurve. (12-6), get a little bit different kind of break. The cutter be pretty nasty too. This one's tough. 12-6, cutter are kind of my favorites. Let's give him the 12-6. So how does it, if I give him that, what does it do for its ratings? Because each pitch has its own attribute, set of attributes. So how do you do it properly is all. Because right now it's at all zeros. Obviously, we're not going to give him a lot of control. So if we average out some of these and just give him that, 29 control, plus 74 on the slider, plus 47 on the fastball. I mean, that's an average of 50 right there. It's less than his slider. His changeup's actually not any good. The velocity, I feel like it shouldn't be much. Or what do we think is a realistic speed for his 12.6? It could just end up being like his slider's velocity. Well, that's 99. Yeah, what's reasonable here for the velo? Now the break, I think I'm just going to make it like a little bit lower than his slider. Say it's a brand new pitch, make it like 30. High velo, low control, like 75. Okay. I like 75 there. We'll drop the control a little bit because it's a brand new pitch too. We'll make it like a 35. It's something he has to work on. I think that's pretty reasonable. Does that change his overall rating? It doesn't. So I think that's pretty reasonable. He's got to improve that changeup, though. It's hardly a pitch to even use. All right, I'm sure there was somebody else. I think we talked about this with Toussaint. No, he's 5. It was somebody else. It might have been somebody else I drafted. Wilkerson has 4, Gonzalez 4, Valentine 4. I swear there was somebody else, but I can't think of who it would be. And I don't think it was a reliever. Rodriguez has 4, Gonzalez has 5. Maybe that was only one for this series. But still, that was something I wanted to get around to. Yeah, Toussaint's still going to be down for this year, which I think is his last option year. So, like, I had a plan to develop him. This is the last year it can happen, because then he's out of options and he's never clearing waivers if we send him down again. So we got one more year to get him where he needs to be at the big league level. I think last year was really good. A really good step there. He's going to be at spring training too. Oh yeah, Toussaint glove. Let's edit that. What was his glove? The Rawlings? Nothing wrong with the glove. We're just going to change the colors of it. Ooh. I wish the purple were more purpley. All purple. I mean, it's like, it's purple, but it's like not my favorite purple. I'm looking for some Rocky purple here. Can you change the logo color? Been pretty good, TC. How you been? I think the neon pink is kind of a fire glove, honestly. There's a lot of colors there I like, but they just don't match our scheme as much. The purple, I think, is poor choice purple. Can't wait to see Johnny Schaefer at AA this year. This is going to be awesome. Oh, that's going to be fun. So Diori's getting a chance at the big league level. Jet Bandy at AAA. We'll have to bring up somebody else. Eventually it'll be Schaefer. Probably be Colby Fitch or something. Kane, loving this series so far. Can't wait to see where you can get this team to in the future. Same, and I think that we made a lot of good progress today. I really liked this offseason. It was a lot of fun. And we're going to have a chance to do some damage this year, it looks like. Like this team here. 2 new outfielders, a new ace pitcher. Ty France joins to add some depth. And I might even still sign Carlos Santana. If he's even... Oh, I don't think he's available now. Oh, wait. Did I sign him? Did I already do that offer? We got him. Okay. Carlos Santana as well. I have no idea if he makes the team. But I know that we can afford to have this spring training experiment. He can play first. He could even catch. That's another option too. Like, he can be the backup catcher or a third catcher if we keep Diori up. And if he does play, he's going to get on base. He's going to draw walks. What's his walk percentage in the franchise? I actually dropped off in our simulating a little bit. Not where he once was. I don't even remember offering to Santana because I was like in and out of so many menus. I wasn't sure if I actually offered or not. We got him though. This is going to be a fun team. I think the only player now, we have room for one more on the 40-man. I think that spot belongs to David Geronimo. I think we want to see him this year at spring training. That's going to be the last thing we do today. I think he's going to start at AAA. I don't mind burning an option. I don't think it's going to be long before he's an everyday big league player. But I want to see him hit some major league pitching. There you have it, everybody. A very fun offseason here at the Colorado Rockies. Just our second offseason. I know I gotta speed things up last month especially was pretty hectic. I didn't get as many episodes out, but year 3 right around the corner. Spring training is coming. I'll be doing some streaming, and I'm expecting this to be really exciting. Thank you all for being here and being a part of the stream. Thank you for all the super chats, all the new members, and for everybody just spending some time here. Very thankful for you. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Watch some football, maybe some baseball as well. And I will have the edited version of this coming your way. And then we're on to spring training games. Year 3 could be a big one for us. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you later.